gonna look at this cool book today. It's one of the cool things about being able to go live is that I get to do one of my favorite things and share my books with people on the internet. So yeah, this is one of my favorite books, and it really was one of those things that I'm so grateful I decided to buy. When I saw it at first, one second, I want to redirect for a little better lighting. When I was at the LA Art Book Fair, and I found it on accident, and just at the Gnomic table, and I was looking at it, and I was just totally taken back by the whole story and the pictures and everything. And when I pulled out the letter from the inside, that's what really, I was like, oh my God, I have such a soft spot for handwriting and tactile things, paper, penmanship, and everything, and the imperfections of the paper and everything. And this reproduction of this letter has it all. Like, it's so moving. Such a sad letter, very poignant to be in the middle of this book. And then again, like the reproduction, the way that they made it is fantastic. I mean, you can even see the handwriting like through the page that's supposed to be on the back. Like, it's impeccable. Yeah, such an amazing thing. And Shane is just, him and I have been able to connect through the gram, and we talk a little bit, and he was super excited and proud that I was going to share this. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a special project, and there's Shane. There he is. I was just talking about how special you are, Shane. So what a big fan I am of this work, and how meaningful and poignant it is to have, hold, and share. Especially right now, I think that while we're all pulled far apart, I think it's important to remember that we're in this together, and to try to find ways to empathize and feel with those whom are having the hardest time. It's not completely, I mean, obviously the people that are homeless are having a very rough go of dealing with all of this. But this also, in my mind, this has ostracized a new sort of person. It's the person that's sick. And I think that society doesn't really know how to deal with people whom are sick right now. There's tons of fear and misinformation and miscommunication, and then a lot of rage as well. And I think that while we move through these unprecedented times and issues, I think it's really important to look at work like this that impresses empathy upon us. So that's why I decided to jump on this. And going live like this is not necessarily my favorite thing to do, but my favorite thing to do is to share books with people. And so this gives me the opportunity to do that. So, all right. We've been live for a few minutes. There's a couple people in the chat. I'm going to start going through the book and looking at some pictures. By all means, let me know if you want me to stop and look at anything in particular, if you have any questions or whatever. I don't have necessarily any insider knowledge, but I'm happy to discuss. Okay, so kindergarten style. Sorry that everything's backwards, but that's the way it is, so that you guys don't have a floating head or a book on a table. I feel like this makes it a little bit more personal. So here's, this work is made from 2011 to 2013. It's dedicated to the generous people who welcomed me into their lives and made pictures with me. David, Lee, Bob, Deanno, Juan, Murph. Yeah, thanks, Shane. Don't even trip. So this book, I think, is particularly special because Shane worked with these people in the book. He gave them cameras, he collected images and artifacts from them, and those all became a part of the project. And again, there are like some subtle details like in the shadows that are going to be hard to see because of Instagram Live and just the light that I have in my living room. But I'll do my best. Like I said, holler if you want me to go back or look at anything in particular. So this is Carlos. And so it kind of documents their living space, the things that they're looking at or used to seeing, documents who they are. This is David, and David wrote the most incredible essay for the title of this. I posted it on my feed, and for those of you that are interested, you can fully zoom in and be able to read all of this. I am tempted to read all of this right now, but it's a little dense, so to read it live might be a little challenging, but let me just read the first paragraph because it's really beautiful, and like I said, I really want to read the whole thing. When Narcissus becomes enamored of his reflection in the pool, I wonder whether there isn't another depth in addition to that expressed by you. I believe the ingredients of this human condition and experience include each emotion, moral value, and judgment made. It seems very much like the proverbial coin with opposite and opposing sides, one up, one down. The gist seems like that in the portrait of Dorian Gray, where his physical beauty was more truly reflected by the portrait hidden in the attic, revealing the ugliness of his evil and unnatural life. Dorian's beauty was the heads, while his true nature was the tails of the coin lying hidden from sight underneath. Narcissus's reflection in the pool being the opposite of society's assessment of his physical appearance, the true aspect of his shallow, flawed sense of self might be found in the pool. The last paragraph of this whole essay is really what brings it home. I guess I'll just share that too. Those who react in cruelty. So he discusses society's engagement with him as a homeless person, and and compares it to that of Narcissus. And he says that those who react in cruelty might suffer in their own sense of self, low self-esteem and uncertainty as to their own value. I elicit their insecurity about themselves, and they shun the vision. Their reaction in no way reflects me or has anything to do with me. It reflects their own perception concerning their own failings and doubts. They have to be better than me. It is imperative not to peer into my mirror as a matter of self-defense. Don't shoot, I'm already wounded, they seem to say. They are not cruel to me. They are cruel to themselves. I am not Narcissus. They are. I am simply the reflection in the pool that can't be grasped. It's, profound. And the fact that that was written by a man who is homeless is, profound. So that's kind of sets the pace for this whole story and book. And then it goes right into some pictures of, or rather, it looks like they're pictures that were taken on disposable cameras. It weaves in between his portraits of them. This is Basil, shot by Shane. And then, disposable camera images that I presume the people in the book shot themselves and Shane got to edit. So I'm gonna flip through kind of quick so that we aren't on here forever. This is Bob. But like I said, just holler if you want me to go back to anything or pause on anything in particular. Do my best to show what's going on here, but this is one of those beautiful images that kind of shows the environment that these people have made home. They're forced to live in and live with. beautiful reflections. And then throughout, there's these little bits of text. Where have all the hitchhikers gone with their thumbs up so high? Handwritten, delicate, and the way that they're woven throughout the book, it's a poem, and I'm presuming it's written by one of the people in the book. Some more disposable camera pictures of them, or from them. Animals alone, isolated. Some things that we can all relate to right now. And then here's where we start to get to some really interesting decisions with sequencing and design that I really, really enjoy about this book. And then this is one of my favorites in the book, period. It starts with the back of a picture, and again, you can kind of see through the picture to the front, the bullet hole after the gun, and then you get the front of the picture on the back of the page, which I'm presuming is a childhood portrait of him. And then you got some fun stuff, little artifact. And then some scenery, setting the tone, and then right back into some of their own pictures from within that space. This one's one of my favorites too. It reminds me of a Lee Friedlander photo with the shadow. You know, that's the photographer is in that portrait. And see this face in here, just barely by the light. And doing my best to flip through here kindergarten style so that you guys can see. Again, some more pictures on disposable cameras that Shane had given to the people he was documenting to get some behind the scenes look at their lives. A little girl holding a puppy. And then juxtaposed by this portrait of James with some wound on his head in the dark. And, you know, I guess that just goes to really juxtapose like the duality of their lives and how aggressive things are. They have no stability or security. Always interesting color tones in the disposable cameras. Another one of these little poems. Where did all the young soldiers go? It actually just says soldier. Where all the young soldiers go with their guns and hand grenades and their youth. And then it flips to some more disposable images, and this picture, quite notably, and this is where the letter from jail was placed, and that always seemed particularly poignant to me. And this letter is addressed to Mom, and it starts off, you know, simple, what's up? Nothing this way, just sitting around doing nothing. And goes through some pretty serious correspondence. Remember, I love you, and I will die for you. That just shows my love for you. Tell Thomas I love for him, and he's a daddy to me. I don't care what I've done to him. It never changed my heart for him. I will grieve for me as much as I did for Delman, if not more, if he would die today, but God hope not. I want you all live forever, which is not possible, but our souls do. Well, love you, and here's a kiss for you. I love you, Mom. Love always. Loy L. White. And again, this is really what was one of my favorite things about this book, is this reproduction of this letter, which has all the stains and markings and handwriting, the date. It's, on top of just being poignant writing, it's also just a beautiful reproduction of an artifact. And again, snuck in this page against these pictures, which really drives it home. Again, this really wonderful sequencing and design elements of this book. Super beautiful portraits with just really minimal lighting. Really expressing that isolation, that loneliness that these people must have to deal with constantly. Living in the shadows of our society. Again, portraying the corners that they're forced to live in. This one, super humanizing. I think that it's very rare to see such an intimate and vulnerable image of, maybe of anywhere, anybody, any context, but especially of people like this down on their luck, making their homes in the woods. Super touching. Here's the cover photo, which is some oil in like a pool of water. Not really a pool, but I guess a puddle. But it's the namesake, the reflection in the pool. And some childhood Halloween memories of one of the people in here. And then, so again, the masterful sequencing. You go from this old childhood Halloween scene to someone wearing these like vampire teeth. I'm guessing that he's one of the people in that picture. And it's really humanizing for these people whom our common reaction is to look away, to ignore. Where have all the hobos gone with their socks hung on weary shoulders? Inside someone's tent. Andrea. Ooh, this one's really dark. Some of these, it's really hard to make out exactly what's going on or where these are, like what the scene is and what is happening here. But these look like little benches, like bus benches or something. It almost looks like a locker room, but it's outdoors in a city or something. And it's being used for sleeping quarters. Doesn't look very comfortable or appealing. Where have all the religions gone with their spiritual passages and their statues? And then another really interesting little sequence here. Got some track homes. This is shot in Virginia, for the most part, from what I'm aware. And then it goes, keep this tree in mind. The next page is right to a portrait, which appears to be in front of that tree. And again, like a lot of this is to kind of juxtapose the views, the visions, the perspectives of the people that he's documenting and the places that they inhabit, even just peripherally, like those homes. And then it goes right into these 3 portraits of normal people, presumably, in their cars, and how they react to Shane, I'm guessing, on the roadside with one of these people, asking for money, asking for help, for humanity. And this is the reaction that they give. Disgust. Which again relates back to that opening essay about Narcissus and the pain that people see. That is really interesting, reading one of the comments in the chat. Yeah, super interesting. Another good sequence between, you've got portrait, present tense, and then what appears to be a childhood portrait. Right into some writing on the wall that shoot, I always struggle to read. I think that it says me really, or something in crayon, etched into some wall. And this is what the spread looks like. And you've got another one of these beautiful shots detailing the sort of back roads and alleyways that these people live in and traverse, that they're most familiar with. That's Michael with his bag. Broken glass, broken mirror. Getting towards the end here now and really starting to come back around to those ideas that were discussed by David in the beginning. This is another beautiful sequence. Oh, I don't know if you can see the tattoos here. But such a solemn portrait. And then it goes right from that to apparently his hand holding a relit joint or cigarette. Very low lighting. Dino. This little cat. It's a heartbreaking portrait. His face is so evocative. Little paw prints pawing at a dirty window. Again, looks like this was shot on one of the disposable cameras that Shane had given to the different people he was documenting. one of the spaces where they live. Rounding off the book, last little piece of poetry. It says, ending. Where did the Bill of Rights go with its law of freedom? And we've got this little pull-out card, which again sort of serves for this outsider perspective looking in on what the rest of us call normal life. Workspace, the office, the building from within the trees, hiding. And then you've got these really like surreal images that again look like they were shot on a disposable camera. And oh shoot, I skipped one. Yeah, this one's really profound. Someone cut out from the center, I'm guessing one of the person that shot the picture, and again really hitting at that idea of isolation, of separateness, of emptiness, of feeling detached from humanity, detached from life. Again, some things that maybe we right now living in quarantine can kind of empathize with a little bit, but not the way that these people have been ostracized throughout just normal, our current culture and existence. And then it ends on this beautiful picture of a trail. Yeah, such a beautiful book, and again, really important at this time right now. It's really about creating empathy for the people whom are having a hard go at life, and showing us what their perspective is like. And I think that that's really important right now, as we're all separated and feeling isolated and alone, much the way that they do, but not nearly the way that they are. And as we continue to go through this unprecedented period of time, there's going to be plenty of challenges that we all face, and there's going to be many people whom feel similarly to this, let alone these people, people that are homeless, that are destitute. There's a lot of struggles, and I think that it's really important that we remember that we need to be compassionate to others if we're going to get through this. And another beautiful part about the book that I think I forgot to mention earlier is that the proceeds got donated to charity in Virginia to help the homeless. So amazing book by Shane. I don't know how to say his last name correctly. Rocheleau. French. But yeah, so that's this book. I'm glad that I got to share it with you guys. If any of you guys that are in here have any questions or want to see anything in particular, again, holler in the chat real quick. Yeah, absolutely. It was my pleasure. I love to share books with people, and great opportunity. I hope that you enjoy, and I'm going to post this to my IGTV and maybe YouTube or whatever, and that way this can continue to live on. Thank you for joining, and I guess I'll flip through a couple pages really quickly again for anybody that might have joined at the very end, but it's not going to have the same type of impact. This book is just so beautifully sequenced that it's hard to just jump into. All right. Cool. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys soon. Be safe, be sane, be kind, and stay distant. Thanks, guys.